All right, hey everybody, back by popular demand. I'm here with my dad on Tesla Full Self-Driving Beta 11.4.6. We got another FSD beta update coming this weekend, but we have some errands to run right now. We got to go to Best Buy and then go to San Pedro. So let's get going.
Yeah.
Take me to Best Buy. All right, Best Buy. There we go. And so I just push this button and off we go. So we're about 13 minutes away from our first stop of Best Buy. Beautiful day today here in California. There's two Teslas on our right.
I like the fact that there are no lane markings on this road, and yet, you know, how it drives carefully to the right and stays closer to the cars, you know, not too far away, not to the center.
Yeah.
So very well, and you know, it's exactly how I would drive.
Right. Yeah, it's gotten really comfortable. Okay, so we got to make a left turn here. There is a lot of traffic coming. You could see some cars, so we got to be careful. Make sure it's clear. There's an Audi. Okay, oh, there's another car coming. And, okay, this might be our shot.
Yeah.
Perfect. That used to be a big struggle. It could never do a left turn like that.
Oh, really?
In the early days.
Yeah, yeah. Well, this one's going to be challenging because
yeah, this one's
now
even more
you're
challenging.
On crest, and there's a non-stop high-speed traffic.
Yeah.
On this one, it actually.
And look, there's actually a kind of a obstacle here where there's a center median. It can't really see through that, so it needs to creep up. But it creeps up to the right place.
Yeah.
And you know, a lot of people used to say that these kinds of unprotected left turns were just impossible.
Oh. It's getting ready.
Yeah.
Okay, now it's a small time to go. Perfect. Yeah, actually, you know, this one's actually difficult even for humans. And the way it did it, it actually got its nose into that first lane. I thought I was like, oh, whoa, it's gonna go. But then it saw the car coming.
Yeah. But it kind of has to inch in to make progress where it can, or it'll never go. So I've noticed it's gotten really smart. Before, it couldn't tell the difference when there was traffic coming, whether it was in your lane or the other lane.
Correct.
Now it's actually smarter about making right turns and left turns.
Correct.
And knowing when there's traffic coming, but it's in the far other lane that you're not turning into.
That's what I was noticing by how it kind of creeped into the first lane and realized that the other car was in the other lane, so it made some headway to make the turn easier.
Right.
One of the things that is impressive is how it figures out how fast the other car is coming and how much time it has. So Crest Road here, we just made that left turn.
Right.
Cars are driving at 50 miles an hour. The one before that, cars were driving at 20 miles an hour. So it has to use different, you know, estimation based on the direction of travel, speed of travel.
And the amazing thing is it's figuring out the speed just based on cameras. Just based on looking at a couple of pixels and how quick they're getting bigger. And all of the distances
to the... Here's an emergency vehicle.
Uh-oh.
Let's see whether it pulls to the right or...
Yeah, I might have to pull over.
Well, so far, it's way ahead of it, so no danger. Now the fire truck or the paramedics are, you know, following us. I don't see them, but... So here I notice it's doing this now. It's staying to the right lane here for some reason. Then it comes into the correct lane, even though it's a one wide lane, but stays more towards the right rather than closer to the left side. That was good that the emergency vehicle just
Well,
passed.
it didn't really respond. It just wasn't in the way.
It's just following this black car. Notice how
Yeah.
it's like saying, "Where is this black car going?" I'm going with him.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. It's like, okay, this guy's pulling over, I'll go
Okay, now it's turning back. It's exactly taking the. It's like this guy must know something.
too. That's funny.
The black Jeep.
Okay, now here's our infamous 25-mile-per-hour truck sign.
Yeah.
That's always causing a slowdown.
Oh, it
And-
did actually pretty good.
Yeah, I think because it sees the other traffic, it doesn't
Yeah.
slow down.
But it
it's
did
still-
lower it down to 40
Yeah,
for some reason. So yeah, they got. I don't think they have, the algorithm in there to read the signs well.
no,
or
they
read
do.
the-
It's just kind of hit or miss.
No, on the traffic signs I'm talking about. I'm talking about other signs. Like if
All right,
somebody
here
says,
again, truck speed limit 25.
oh,
Right.
that one it
You got
did
it
well,
again?
Yeah,
That's
that
good.
one it did good.
Ah, there we go.
Yeah. So it looks like if there would be like road blocked, it can't read that.
Mhm.
It has to.
I've actually seen it go around a road closed sign and detour in this recent update.
Oh really?
Mhm.
Yeah, that'd be great if it can read regular signs, like other than the stop signs and the speed limits.
And then here you see this flashing yellow light. It's now smart enough to realize that's not a traffic light. In the past, it would slow down unexpectedly
Correct.
or unnecessarily.
Yeah,
So now it's smart enough to realize that.
yeah, that I remember it used to do that. I was like, why is it braking? And then I realized it was a flashing yellow light.
And then notice how it stops for the yellow light. No human would do that. As a matter of fact, they speed up.
Yeah.
The car will do what you program it to do.
Yeah, this has been pretty impressive. It actually figures out whether it's safe to brake
Yeah,
or is it safe to just continue on the
it's
yellow.
really good now at doing the right thing, deciding whether to go. Usually it goes. Like, it's not like it stops too much, but it won't like accelerate to try and make it.
Correct.
Obviously.
Originally, it was doing that. It was like a teenage driver
Mhm.
trying to cross every yellow light, but now
It's
become
smarter,
more
yeah.
like smarter, more like your dad.
And like I usually will speed up if I'm driving manually for a yellow light, but when I'm on autopilot, I'm like, okay, whatever, who cares? Usually I'll just let it do whatever.
Correct.
You don't feel the same, need, the same impatience when you're on autopilot.
There's a 25-mile speed limit right after the traffic light.
It's a school speed limit
and
sign.
it's a school speed limit, and that one it has no issues with.
Usually.
Let's see. Okay, no issues. This one also no issues. So good.
Yeah, it's been all good.
But my question is, should it have slowed down to 25 because there was a school?
Well, I don't see any kids or anything, so
Yeah.
it would have been inappropriate. Nobody else is slowing.
But I think that's just coincidence. If there were kids, it would still not slow down. So they need to probably address those.
No, I have seen it slow down
Oh,
for
it
school
has?
speed limit
Yeah.
signs.
Yeah.
But only during school hours
Oh,
and stuff. So, right now it's 4.
interesting.
I don't know. I mean, that one is kind of weird because you don't really have kids on the street there. The school there is very much off off the road.
This is interesting. Why did it change the lane?
Because we're gonna take Rolling Hills Way.
To go to Best Buy.
Yeah,
God.
it's trying to get on PCH through Rolling Hills
Yeah.
Way.
That's not a good choice though. Because now then it has to make a left turn on PCH without the traffic lights.
No, it's got a traffic light there.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
All right, so we got traffic potentially coming on the other side. It's got to be cautious. I like the way it did that cautiously,
Yeah.
It didn't do it too fast. It's now much,
Human-like.
yeah, but, it would make you afraid sometimes, the way it would do things so
Correct.
quickly.
Yeah.
Where maybe you don't disengage, but you're kind of like, you get that, sense of like fear in you.
Yeah.
Of like, oh my God, it's going so fast. Now it's just way more cautious in the way it drives.
Yeah, I think they put a lot of focus on smoothness in the last two updates, I noticed from 11.4.4 and then further in 11.4.6, the focus was on everything, even like accelerating from 0 to whatever 50. You know, if the speed limit is 50, even that acceleration smooth. So nothing feels no more robotic. You know, it's more like human-like driving. Sometimes I, you know, wanted to actually accelerate a little faster, but it's doing a pretty nice, good job smoothly, and I like that. And the turns, you know, great. And usually when I come up on Crenshaw, because it's curvy road, you know, my speed is at 50, 52, but it slows down to as much as 39 on those curves.
Oh, look at this.
Yeah.
There's two kids on the bike, so it's being cautious of them.
Yeah.
And then it looks like they're not going, so I'm going to hold the accelerator.
Yeah.
But that's good that it was being cautious of them. Do you see how it turned into this lane because it knew they were going that way?
Yeah, and the car was crossing, so it was like the minivan there.
Yeah.
So that was... I wonder if it would have eventually, you know, because the light was turning yellow, it would have eventually crossed if you didn't hit the accelerator.
Yeah, I have seen it do it sometimes, but other times it doesn't seem to be doing it. So I didn't want to get stuck in the red. And then there were the kids in the crosswalk, but they weren't crossing, so I think that's what made it hesitate.
Yeah, the kids were smart. They were waiting for the green light, but the car needs to assume that they're not going to follow the rules. Oh wow, look at that. Did you see that?
Yeah.
It felt like the car was coming into a lane.
There's a Model 3 and it was over the going over the line in its lane a little bit.
Yeah.
So it avoided the lane change.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, that's, you know, I wasn't even looking at it, right? But it did the right thing.
The car was, you know, blind spot.
Yeah. So now it's making another attempt. Notice how it's like slowing down a little bit.
Yeah. You know, another thing I noticed that they have now improved quite a bit is when it used to do lane changes, it would always accelerate before making the lane change. Now it selectively accelerates.
Yeah.
Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, depending on the situation. So if there's nobody behind us, it doesn't accelerate.
Yeah.
Or if it's safe to just change the lane without acceleration at the current speed, it does that smoothly like it did right now. Previously it would just accelerate every time, and sometimes that would get too close to the car in front of you. And I like that change. I don't know when that happened, but I think it was more at 11.4.6.
Yeah, the lane changes are incredible now, how it can just slip in. I remember how autopilot lane changes used to be. It used to be just useless in heavy traffic.
Heavy traffic, yeah.
It would need such a big gap, like a 3-4 second gap, and no one would let you in. It would be so frustrating. You'd want to pull your hair out trying to use it on the highway in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
But now I can be in like the carpool lane of the 405 and it can get all the way over to the exit, no problem every time.
Did that for me on 405, and I had to exit on Sunset, and I was in the carpool lane, and it was like 4-5 lane changes literally in no time.
Yeah.
And it did that like Fast and Furious driver, would do. It's amazing.
All right, so here we are. We're now pulling into Best Buy.
Right into the parking lot. What do you say?
So there you go. It took us here with 0 takeovers. We had 1 accelerator press to get it to go because the light was turning red. But looks like it did pretty good.
Yeah. Where is it going now?
Taking us to the front of Best Buy.
Yeah.
This is where it would drop us off if it was a robo-taxi.
Wow.
All right, so I guess we got to go park ourselves now.
Great.
All right, so first drive went good. Now we'll go into Best Buy, and then we will head to San Pedro. And I guess it'll be kind of rush hour heavy traffic in LA, so
yeah,
we'll see how it's able to keep up with that.
Absolutely. It's already rush hour.
All right, so we're all done at Best Buy. Now we're gonna head to San Pedro. Our destination's about 25 minutes away. So one thing I want to show on this car that's I think kind of cool is there's no stalks, there's no button to turn it on. When you want to start driving, you see how it says tap to activate reverse? It actually uses the cameras, the same system it uses to drive the car. It can tell there's something behind, in front of us and nothing behind us. So we need to reverse. So I just push the brake and now I can reverse out. And then when I want to put it in park, all I have to do is just take off my seatbelt. I can get out of the car. I don't have to do any turning off the car or anything like that. All right, so let's go now. I'll turn on FSD. So you can see it automatically decreased the speed limit to 19 because it noticed we're in a parking lot. So it's gotten much better at that, whereas before it would sometimes get confused between the speed limit on the road and the speed limit in the parking lot. Okay, driving a little bit into the parked lanes over there. Now it's gonna make the right turn. Make sure it's all clear. Okay, looking good.
I don't think there's any car in the world that can do parking lot driving.
Yeah.
I mean,
I can't wait until they activate the actually smart summon based on FSD beta. It's going to be incredible. It'll be able to come pick you up. Okay, looks like there's no cars coming. We're all clear to go.
I like the fact that they call it now actually smart summon, like the other one was fake.
Yeah, true. Okay, so now we're going to make a left turn. Very cool. We have no left arrow here, so we need to wait for traffic. Let's see if we can make it through.
Does it go to the center of the road?
What do you mean?
Oh yeah, it's clear.
All right, let's go for it. Yeah, even though there was a car coming, it knew it had enough time. Before, it would just get stuck, and then you'd miss the light. So that's a big improvement as well.
Yeah, huge improvement.
Okay, so we're headed on Pacific Coast Highway for 2.5 miles, and we're going to turn right onto Western.
It gets pretty heavy traffic on PCH past Crenshaw, so...
Yeah, everyone's headed home right now. So, lots of traffic, and that can create lots of challenges for the system that it doesn't expect. People doing crazy things. But I love how easy it is to get around. The whole user interface of travel has changed completely.
Yeah.
Now instead of having to do all this stuff, you just say, okay, here's where I want you to take me. And it can just do most of it itself. It's incredible.
Okay.
This is a completely different sort of product category.
Yeah.
It's clear to me that this is how everybody's going to have this on their car.
Yeah.
Whether it's a Tesla or a non-Tesla, this is the interface of the future.
Well, you know, also, the exception for me used to be to let the FSD drive the car. Now the exception for me is to me drive the car.
Yeah, exactly.
So the whole level of trust, credibility, confidence builds really fast. It was like just a couple, 2-3 drives, and I realized that it was actually driving better than I was. And so now, you know, I would not drive. And the funny thing is, the other day I didn't put it on FSD, and somebody asked me, said, hey, you know, put it on FSD, you're looking at your phone. I said, that's exactly why I'm not putting it on FSD, because FSD wouldn't let me be on the take a quick look. All I wanted to do is just hit my playlist, but FSD doesn't let you you know, play with your phone. Okay, so this is a tricky situation. As a human, I would have waited for the other side. Now it's, you know, but it's actually pretty close to the car in front of you. Yeah. But still, it's blocking the intersection a bit.
Well, we do have a green light, but yeah, you do want to wait until you can make sure you're clear to cross.
Yeah, yeah. I noticed that too. So, you know, sometimes how it says clear this area, not keep it clear here. It doesn't really respect that. it just goes to the car in front of you. But notice how it got really close to this car.
I've noticed that too.
Some sensor in realizing that back of my car might be blocking the intersection. So
I've noticed it gets a lot closer to cars, whereas before it would stay really far away. And that's really important in heavy traffic. You look weird if you're keeping a big gap and there's, bumper to bumper traffic.
Yeah, and also if your part of your car is still in the intersection.
Yeah.
So at that time you close the gap.
Right. And I was just saying, like, I don't know how people in LA survive, because you have so much of this just sitting in really slow traffic and you have nothing to do. It's not rocket science. It doesn't require some super advanced AI that can drive the whole car. It's just, doing the basic stop and go traffic. It takes so much stress off of you to not have to worry about it.
True. I think I find it extremely, extremely useful for the stop and go traffic situation more than, no traffic situation.
Yeah.
Because it's the stop and go where the fender benders typically happen.
Right.
You get distracted, you get bored, you get tired, you lose focus, you get irritated. Now you're relaxed, you're enjoying music or whatever.
Right.
And the cars just keep an eye on the road. One thing it does on this road on Pacific Coast Highway, it stays in the right lane, and the right lane sometimes has these bumps, like dips and bumps, and it doesn't care, it keeps going. So it doesn't really slow down if the road's going down, or it just
it kind of ignores it.
So, which is okay because these are not serious ones, but I think once it starts getting the depth perception better.
Well, it does have like that kind of road surface mapping. And I've seen it start to respond to that more, but it doesn't really use that in factoring in its decision of what lane to be in.
Correct.
Like right now it's thinking, okay, I got to turn right in 1.5 miles. There's heavy traffic. Let me stay in the right lane. But it doesn't really account for the fact that the right lane might be more uncomfortable.
Correct.
Than the left lane. So sometimes I do just push the arrow and tell it to change lanes manually for things like that.
But they will eventually add that to the AI.
I mean,
the AI would say, I'm getting, I'm picking up a lot of bumping, so maybe I'll change the lane to a smoother lane.
But I mean, it's detectable visually. You can see it, but it just hasn't really been trained to spot that or care about that.
It does slow down for the speed bumps, though.
Right.
Yeah. But not all speed bumps.
Some they need more work on the speed bumps. I think they kind of erred towards the side of not stopping because they don't want to create false slowdowns. There were probably times where it was detecting a speed bump that wasn't there.
Correct.
And then that was annoying people, so I think they kind of have to err more onto the side of like only when they're certain. But yeah, that's something that actually, I mean, it seems to have improved, but it needs to be better for sure. There are
but my thinking is, if my pair of eyes detect it, I am hoping that the cameras are going to be way better than my pair of eyes. Just like the computer processor is better than my brain processor. So at some point in time, if I miss a speed bump, the car shouldn't. That's how good it should really get. Yeah,
I have seen it noticing things that I missed more and more.
Maybe with the newer cameras that they're coming up with, higher resolution cameras.
It's interesting. It just auto raised the suspension, possibly due to some of the bumps that you mentioned here in the right.
Yeah.
They have this new thing where they can basically upload when there's rough road and then automatically adjust the suspension ahead of time.
Interesting.
Yeah. That's really powerful. Gathering data from the fleet and then having all this data about the road and how best to drive on it, that's really powerful. because then all these cars are just gathering this data, and you know, you have all this information that's not even visually apparent.
Did it say it was raising the suspension?
Yeah, I saw it on the screen.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Yeah, this is not the lane I would drive in, but it's not technically wrong, so.
Correct.
And it moved over a little for that motorcyclist.
Yeah, I noticed it does that.
Sometimes it sees them and moves over before you see. Look, raising
yeah.
suspension.
Yeah, again.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the lane is real bumpy here.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah. I never paid attention to that, but that's really nice.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize how good the Model S and X are compared to the 3 and Y. Most people know the Model 3 and Y.
Oh, this feature is not available in 3?
No, of course not. They don't have air suspension.
Oh,
They're going to have it on the Cybertruck, though.
okay.
So what do you think about the Cybertruck? One of my followers asked to ask you what you think about the Cybertruck.
I think it'll be a game changer for Tesla because, generally speaking, trucks are, you know, one of the best-selling cars in this country, and F-150 domination has been way too long. It's time to kind of displace that, and it will be displaced by an EV.
Yeah.
And the Lightning is out there, but that's really the same car, same gadgets, you know, just the electrical batteries and motors. So people are seeking a lot more. Not just the, you know.
I mean, just the fact that it's going to have FSD, it's going to be the first self-driving truck.
Correct.
That's going to be huge.
I like the looks of it.
Yeah.
It's like, it means business, you know.
Yeah, it's you know, it's serious, it's industrial.
Yeah.
It's you know, yeah. It's very different
love it.
than any EV we've ever seen before.
Teenagers will love it.
Yeah, I think especially when they see it. They need to see it in real life to really realize what it is. And inside it's just a really big, spacious Tesla.
Yeah.
Bloomberg also published a rumor that the Model 3 is going to see an update next month.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Glad you didn't buy it.
Yeah, let's see what they've got. Maybe I'll upgrade.
Look at how close it got to the car in front of you. That is
that really shows how confident they are in the output of the Pure Vision system.
Yeah.
Because the reason it had to keep such a large gap before was because there was a margin of air.
Yes.
That way, at least if the air is there, you still don't end up hitting the car.
Look at this now. The bus
Oh, God.
stopped. So I wonder what's going to do.
I think we're just going to be stuck here in the intersection until the bus moves.
Yeah. Luckily, it's still green.
It could try and go around this car if the traffic stops. I wouldn't be surprised yet. Okay, let's see. Are they gonna do it? There's one more car behind us. Two more cars behind us. Oh. Oh my God. It's getting really close, but I think we can. Whew.
That was a good stunt. And the guy in front of us is like, why did you come into my lane? I wasn't even driving. Computer was driving. But that, it changed the lane, but it went a little over into the other lane. And
that was a tough move. It was really close. But I like that it did try and get around the bus.
Yeah. Yeah, it did. And that was brave. I wouldn't have done that. I would have just waited for the bus to move.
No, I would have done that. But I would have, looked and made sure I wasn't going over too much.
But send that video.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Yeah, that's a good case to send them.
That's one of the reason I don't drive in this lane, is because it's also bus lane.
Yeah, exactly. You're much more likely to get stopped. But I think he was just more concerned with not being able to make the right turn because, you know, because of the traffic, it might not be able to get into the lane and then miss the turn. That's a common failure case too. So it's tough to balance all these things.
Not anymore. I have to say
you're
that
right.
With 11.4.4,
yeah,
and definitely with 6,
yeah,
the lane changes are not a problem at all.
Well, I wouldn't say not a problem at all, but they're much better.
I haven't seen it miss even a single time. And it's done some really tight lane changes for me. I mean, I was like, oh my God, it's not going to be able to do it. But it managed to, and it shows the blinker even though there's bumper-to-bumper traffic, and the car behind me slowed down, gave it a little gap. It saw that and, you know, made it smooth. Previously, it wouldn't even turn the blinker on if the cars, you know, if it was a bumper-to-bumper traffic. Now it knows by turning the blinker on, the other guy might give it some room.
Yeah.
So I've seen that. It's like pretty amazing now.
Yeah, true. So I guess as it gets better about changing lanes, then it doesn't need to stay in the right as early.
Yeah. But is yours set up for aggressive or?
Yeah, that's a good question. Let's check.
Because mine's set up for aggressive and assertive.
I'm on chill right now.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, mine's assertive. Yeah.
Okay, let's go to assertive.
So yeah, I call it aggressive. But
We're gonna. Yeah, you need assertive for LA traffic.
yeah.
Okay, let's see. What else do I have? My pedals. Okay, I'm on insane.
What is the insane? Oh, for the
acceleration.
Oh,
Yeah, that's the other thing. Model 3 only has standard and sport acceleration. This one has an extra level, insane.
Okay.
And it is actually insane. Okay, so here's the tough thing. There's a stop sign there. It kind of looks like it's a stop sign for this road, right?
Correct.
But it was smart enough to realize it was actually for the other road.
Yeah.
That is impressive. It always used to stop for things like that before.
I think it has some Google Map data.
Yeah, I mean,
it correlates with and says,
yeah,
there's no stop sign on this road by the map data, so this must be the other.
Yeah, I mean, I think it makes a prediction using vision and maps as well, because it can stop for a stop sign that's not in maps, but I think it looks at all the data it has and then makes a decision about whether it's actually something to stop for.
This is pretty tight here.
Yeah.
The cars parked and heavy traffic.
Right.
With that bus, by the way, it came literally 6 inches from the rear bumper of the bus. It made that turn. So so the precision of it, knowing how far it is from the car in front of you.
Yeah. The occupancy network has gotten incredible.
Correct. Is this because this car has the sensors, the ultrasonic sensors?
No, it doesn't use the ultrasonic sensors for FSD. It's all using vision. So you're right. In the past, it would have just waited behind that bus and gotten stuck in previous updates. But now it was actually able to, like, and, you know, it was kind of like, I kind of thought, oh my God, it's like, it's going to fail to get around the bus. Like, I might have to take over. Like, it might be kind of on a course to hit the bus. But then it kind of realized, actually, how far the bus was and adjusted its wheel. But then I think that's kind of why it swung a little too wide, is because it was turning so much to get around the bus and then had to turn the other way.
One mistake it did make, though, is when the car in front of us went into the left lane, it moved straight forward and came closer to the bus. And it should have just waited, and then it didn't have to make that kind of a sharp turn. So that would have given it more room to make that left turn. But we sent the video, hopefully the autopilot team, the FSD team will.
That was kind of one of the moments where I didn't even know where we were going. Sometimes I'm kind of surprised by which way the car goes, and then it's like, oh, okay, that's actually the right way. So it's kind of a weird feeling when your car just goes, okay, and you're like, oh, do we have to go that way? Oh, okay.
Yeah, that intersection actually very confusing.
It's funny sometimes, you know, like I was in, I think we were in Orange County or something, and I said, okay, take us back to LA, and the car was driving on like the 610 or something, and I was like, you know, I have no clue where we are. I have no clue how we get back to LA from the 610, but the car knows. So I'm just gonna sit here and
Yeah.
it got me back there. I didn't have to worry about a thing. It's really strange,
Yeah.
but nice.
The fact is that every car has a smart navigation now, and it can get you from point A to point B, but you as a driver are responsible for following those instructions, and sometimes that can be distracting. But with FSD, not only is the navigation there, the navigation is now communicating with FSD, and FSD is following the instructions without getting distracted, right? Because
Yeah.
it's not taking its eyes off the road like
Right.
we do.
It's 8 eyes.
Did you notice that lane change?
Yeah, it was really smooth. And it even, it has to make a right turn, but it said, okay, let me get around the traffic.
Exactly.
I think because I put it in assertive mode
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
That's probably part of the reason it was in the right lane, is because I was in chill.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
I don't know why I was in chill. Normally I'm always in assertive mode.
Because it's a different car.
Well, it syncs my profile across the cars. So anything I do in this car copies over to the other car.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's really nice.
Even the beta settings?
Yeah,
Then why didn't the assertive copy over?
because I think I put it in chill in the other car.
Oh, okay. So they're basically putting the settings somewhere in the cloud, and it downloads it, right? It syncs it across
Yeah.
different.
Even if you rent a car or whatever, you can download your
Ah.
profile and run everything the same.
This person's gonna be pissed. Sorry, it's
Yeah.
FSD.
They wanted to make a left, but
Okay, note to Tesla engineers. Please have some courtesy for people like
Yeah.
these that need.
maybe
to
we'll
make-
send them
yeah,
that clip.
Good idea.
It should be able to recognize when someone wants to turn left and then give them room.
Oh, the guy behind us is also a jerk. You should have let
A lot of jerks in LA.
Not as many as in New York.
True.
Yeah, I've driven there.
Yeah, New York is like the final boss of self-driving. I don't think we're far away from fully autonomous cars in Manhattan, though.
Manhattan's actually easier because most of the roads are one way.
Well,
And-
there's a lot of challenges as well.
Yeah. And the traffic moves slowly there, so it's like a bumper to bumper stop and go traffic all the time. Oh, I like this. Like
It's getting
yes,
so
yeah,
human-like.
Yeah,
It's incredible.
there's too many cars in that lane. Let me get into this and let's not waste time.
Honestly, I'm just blown away. Anytime I go anywhere, I'm just blown away by it. And then I tweet like, wow, it's just incredible.
Yeah, I
And
know.
people go, you said it's incredible last version. You said every version was incredible. Well, yeah, every version is incredible. It keeps getting better and better.
Yeah.
Every time I'm blown away by how much more human-like it gets. And
Yeah.
we're going to look back on this and say, oh,
Okay, look at the guy on the scooter.
Yeah.
Let's see how it reacts. It used to ghost brake when it would
Yeah.
see. Now it knows it's safe.
smooth, perfectly smooth. Really good handling of close-by pedestrians and cyclists. Like the occupancy network, its ability to actually know exactly the distance to objects is getting incredibly
It's
good.
incredibly good. Yeah, right. And also, I think for people that are wondering when we're going to have completely autonomous cars, I know and I believe in this, that it's not a light switch. It's more like a dimmer that you turn on slowly,
Yeah,
and you're gonna see this. Look at this, it's changing the lane
yeah.
because it's gonna go from 1 to 2 lanes.
It's trying to make a right turn up
Oh,
ahead.
Nice, very nice. So I think that we are on
Yeah.
the path to completely autonomous driving, and it's gonna happen one day. and we wouldn't even know that it happened. That's how smoothly it will happen.
I mean, in San Francisco, there's so many driverless cars now. Waymo started its first commercial robotaxi in 2018. So it's been almost 5 years now that we've had fully driverless cars. It's really just about scaling now, getting it to work everywhere.
Correct. But those cars are driving on mapped streets, right? If we put Tesla on mapped streets, it's been there like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So this is completely, I mean, you saw a Best Buy parking lot. You know,
completely unmapped.
Yeah. This car has a brain of its own. And so that's what we need as humans. We don't need cars just driving map, you know. Hey, I gotta go somewhere that's not on the map. Sorry, my car can't go there. Right?
Yeah.
That's not.
In order to replace an Uber and replace a car, you have to be better and cheaper.
Yes.
So it's a really high bar. This has got to be the hardest computer science problem ever attempted.
Technically, I always think of the video games that we used to play as kids, and those cars that were driving by themselves. I was controlling one of many cars, right? The other cars were driving themselves. So this is a video game now.
Yeah.
Where this car is part of the game.
It turns the world into a game and then plays it.
Exactly.
You can see, like, it's almost like a video game in there.
Yeah, there you go. Except the cars are more realistic.
Yeah.
Than those funny looking cars. Notice how the road is empty and it didn't accelerate.
Yeah, like it used to.
It used to.
In the old autopilot days.
Yeah, that would make you feel very uncomfortable. Now,
it was scary.
Yeah, looks at the speed of the cars in the other lane, smoothly does that. What was that?
Just a little jerkiness.
Yeah.
I think probably one of the cars was like going over its line or something, so it just moved over really quickly.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a trash can in the road.
Yeah, it doesn't care about trash cans. It knows how to avoid them.
It moved over a little to avoid it.
It does that very well now. Park cars, you know, UPS trucks, things like that. And notice how it gets better at stopping at the line now. Sometimes it would miss that by a few inches. Now it's right on the dot.
And it's better at these busy four-way stops as well.
All right, we are at our destination, and we can park the car maybe somewhere here. Yeah, just park it behind that SUV, or maybe park it in front.
What SUV?
This SUV. Or you can park it in the driveway.
That driveway?
Yeah, that's ours.
All right, there we go. Drive number 2. Yeah. Also 0 takeovers, although we did have almost a takeover with that bus.
Yeah, we had some interesting experiences, to say the least.
All right, so we're headed just across the street to another location. Good, cautious, waiting to see if the other people will go.
There's a little bit of bump here, but not as bad as it was the other place. So notice how it slowly accelerates from the stop sign.
Yeah, waiting to see if anyone's coming.
Yeah.
It's very sensitive to red light runners and that kind of thing.
Correct.
And full stop to 0, unlike any human.
No California at all.
Yeah, you can see those people doing the California stop over there. The wheels never stop turning.
Yeah. Which is necessary in California.
To keep traffic moving, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, because too many cars.
Yeah.
They should actually make it legal.
Yeah, I agree.
very smooth.
A little slow, but smooth.
Yeah, even though the speed limit, it could have gone up to 30, but it's like 15, 20 miles per hour. Carefully.
Okay.
Wonderful. All right.
Perfect.
We are at our destination number 2. So, thank you.
Let's see. Can I park in there?
I don't think so, but you can park right there. Where the tree is.
Yeah.
Or even right there.
I'll just go over here.
Yeah, park here. This is better anyway. This is the other 3 units that were in the process of building right now.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we're all done with our errands. Let's head back. We're about 24 minutes away, 12 miles.
I'm just curious, when it pulled from that spot, if there would have been a car coming in, it would have seen that.
Yeah, of course. Hey, here we got a steel plate.
Yeah, it doesn't get much. You can go over it. Like it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Huh,
Okay, we got a
interesting.
stop truck. It's going around it. Very good. Now we have to make a right turn, but it looks like there's another stopped van on the side of the road. So
Oh, it thinks that the van's making a right turn.
no.
Now, yeah, wow. It realized that's not the case.
Yeah.
Now it's gonna go.
It's saying on the screen, changing lanes away from path blockage.
Nice.
We just gotta wait for this guy to get out of the way. He's trying to make room for us, but the car isn't brave enough to try and
Yeah.
squeeze through there, which
It's
is
not
good.
gonna- yeah.
I'm glad it didn't try.
Although it's unassertive now. Earlier it tried
Yeah.
on the bus when it was in the chill mode.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. We got our green light. Good gaps to the cars it's going around, and there's the right turn.
Okay, sunset reflections, lots of them.
Yep, driving into the sun. Got some potholes it didn't avoid.
Yeah. That's low on the priority list.
I mean, some places have really big potholes. It's a real issue for them.
Yeah.
They have to like disengage or their tire's gonna pop.
Yeah.
Alright, so we got a left turn on Western in half a mile. We're here by the Port of LA right now.
The speed limit is 35 maximum, but it's driving at 31, 32.
No, it's speed limit's 30. Its max speed is 35.
No, I'm saying that it could have gone 35, but the car's driving
Yeah.
35. So it seems to now
Factor in other
factor
things.
in other things and
Yeah.
not necessarily go reach for that max speed we set,
Right, which is great.
which is amazing because sometimes I would set the speed high, and then I
Yeah.
would forget about it, and the car was then going way too fast for.
I'd have to constantly adjust the speed up
Correct.
and down.
Yeah.
Now we can actually figure out what the speed needs to be itself.
Yeah, what the safe speed is.
Okay, so here's something interesting. It's got a
Reflection,
really
yeah.
big gap.
Yeah, big.
Oh yeah, you know what? I think you're right. It's that
Okay,
reflection.
go
Okay, I gotta push the accelerator.
Yeah. So it has that reflection issue where I've seen that before. When the sun hit, it gets confused.
Yeah, I think maybe
Send that video.
it couldn't accurately detect the distance to the car in front. Maybe the
Yeah.
light was really shining off that car.
Yeah. That's where we put on Ray-Bans. I don't know what the cameras are gonna do.
I think the new hardware 4 cameras are a lot better. They have some anti-glare coating or something. But I think the AI can be trained to handle that. So I would just creep forward slowly, and
Yeah.
get out of the way of that reflection.
Correct. The reflection was so big that it could not judge the distance correctly. It
Yeah.
decided to just take it easy and stay farther. But then when the car even moved away, it didn't even detect
Yeah.
the motion. So that was the bad part. I mean, I don't mind. Okay, I'm gonna stay safe distance because I can't understand the gap because of the reflection, sun's reflection. But now, that the car is moved, so occupancy network improvement needed there.
Yeah, I don't know. It was a bug, I guess. Okay, we got a right turn onto 25th Street in half a mile.
Yeah.
Really smooth drive.
So it's gonna make a right turn in half a mile, but it's not anymore in a hurry to be in the right lane because
Yeah.
we're now on the assertive mode. On the
Right.
chill mode, it would have been in the right lane already.
Yeah.
So I guess assertive is a little bit more confident driver
Yeah.
as compared
It's willing to make more aggressive moves to get in the
Yeah.
lane.
So now it's got 0.3 miles bumper to bumper traffic. So let's see how and when it decides to change the lane.
Yeah, let's see if it's able to get in.
It should be, yeah. That's
See,
what
look,
I'm
this
getting.
is smart. It actually is going forward because it's seeing, oh, there's actually a gap here.
Yeah. So
Okay.
now it should be changing at this point now.
Come on, come on. What are you doing? It's gonna miss it.
It did make that mistake in terms of trying to make that change towards the end. So that wouldn't have happened in the chill mode. So
Yeah.
that's where it was assertive but overconfident and waited too long because then they ended up with bumper to bumper traffic. So, and I was hoping that, because I showed the blinker,
Well,
other cars are going to slow down, and they didn't.
Yeah, I mean, it actually had room to get over, but then it kind of chickened out, and then it was kind of like indecisive, and then the guy was getting pissed off,
Yeah. Well, the guy was way far, so he had no reason to be pissed off. But
it had enough room to
car
make the
could
lane
actually
change.
make the lane change, but it was a 2-lane change.
Right.
That was a little difficult.
Yeah, it should have gotten over earlier. I think it thought that it could have gotten in front of that truck, but then the truck started speeding up.
There is a little steep down and steep up at one point on this road where you have to slow down, otherwise, the car hits the road, the bottom of the car. So let's see how the car treats that and whether it understands the incline is pretty steep at that point. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Mhm.
That spot
Yeah.
right before you get to like mile before Terranea, I think. It's where that lookout spot is. After that, beautiful day. Look at the clouds,
Yeah.
creating like a wall, and those mountains. Perfect. And that's Catalina Island on the left.
Mhm.
It slowed down a little bit as if it was going to read the sign.
I don't think that's what it was doing. It's
No, it
probably slowing
wasn't,
down
yeah.
for something else.
Beautiful. Look at the ocean.
Mhm.
This time of the month, this thing would be filled with cargo ships because Christmas, shipping from China and other parts of the world. But not seeing that many ships lately.
Okay, here we're approaching the slide area.
Oh, the steep area, yeah.
Yeah, so this is actually a landslide area where the land is constantly moving. So the road is always like a roller coaster. So let's see how it handles it.
I don't think it's going to slow down, Omar, so be ready to take over or slow down manually. Oh, wow. It did actually slow down a little bit. That's
Yeah.
pretty nice.
This isn't that hard. It can handle this fine.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Even further slow down here. Pretty impressive. A little acceleration there. A little bumpy road. Okay. All right. Cowboy, that's good. Okay, another dip coming in. This one's even same thing. Let's see speed. No change in speed. Okay, yeah, it can handle this at safe speed. Yeah. There you go. Do you feel that brake there because it didn't have the okay, this one's even steeper. The next one coming up, this one's worse, so be careful here. Whoa, it's like a roller coaster here. Whoa. Yeah, the car is like, what the heck? Okay, car parked on the right lane. It sees it. No worries. Yeah. So it did not slow down for that steep. I usually do because it just feels like otherwise like a roller coaster ride. Did it increase the speed on its own?
Well, it saw the speed limit sign.
Uh-huh.
Went up from, I think, 35 to 45 or something.
Yeah. And then the reason it says 52 is because you set it up to 15% above or 10?
Yeah.
10% above? 15?
15, yeah.
Yeah. 15 might be too much. I think cops let you go up to 10% above. They'll give you a ticket on 15.
15 I found is good for setting the speed where I want to. I can always lower it.
Yeah.
But the main thing is on the highway. I hate when it sees the speed limit sign and then lowers the speed.
Yeah.
And then it's like braking on the highway. So if you just set it over, then at least it won't do that.
That's true. There's a bicycle in the far right.
It's showing on the screen, shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah.
So it knows not to change lanes while that cyclist is there.
Lane change coming up in 0.8 miles. Oh, this time it's like, last time I screwed up. So let me do it better this time. Let's play safe and stay in the correct lane half a mile before it's needed. On an empty street. Sharp curve. Speed down by 3 miles per hour, 48 versus 52. Slowly catching up back at 50, 51. Perfect.
Okay, this guy's turning right.
And there's a bus parked and we got to get into that lane. So let's see. Yeah, it ignores the bus, gets into the lane carefully. Perfect.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah. Right turn.
Alright, it's checking visibility. Good.
Very nice.
Really
Very
smooth.
nice.
Yeah, incredible.
Immediately change the lane to the passing lane. And even though we eventually had to make a right turn, but it went ahead and did that because it knows this is a faster lane.
Yeah, it knows we have a couple miles.
It used to have a hard time handling these sharp curves because it wouldn't slow down, and now it adjusts the speed to make the drive smoother and you don't feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That's probably been the best part is their focus on the smoothness of the drive.
Yeah. Looks like a lot of fog rolling in.
Yeah. It actually drives pretty good during fog too.
Yeah, I was just taking a video of it driving in the fog the other night, and it was like no visibility, but it could still drive. It's kind of amazing.
I don't usually do a lane change on a curve, you know, when the road is curving and it's turning. But FSD doesn't really care. FSD will make lane change, irrespective of whether the road's going straight or turning or curved or whatever. And it does it so smoothly and perfectly.
Uh-oh, what's it doing here?
It got confused by the bike lane a little bit, and the way the guy ahead of us is driving.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah, I think sometimes it tries to go around people making right turns.
okay, we're only 0.3 miles to right turn. So.
Yeah, that was my concern, was that I would miss it.
Okay, we're at the right turn now. Beautiful. Now it has to make a left turn, so got into the left lane right away. At some point in time, even if when they reach the autonomy, they'll still have to limit it to certain countries that they have, safely tested it in.
I think, once you can drive in one country, you can drive in them all.
I love this part when it waits for the gate to open before
it's not really working for me lately. I don't know what's up. This thing won't open the gate. It's like, I think did they change the code or something?
No. I think it's something maybe got adjusted on the how many feet before, so we'll have to increase that. Yeah, here it shows a little hesitation.
Yeah,
even though the
it
gate
used to work perfectly. It's really annoying.
Then it does this thing, where it gets closer to the gate, and then
It used to just be perfect. It's so annoying when it gets, worse on something that you do every day. Like, if someone on the autopilot team is watching this, please fix that, or just make it go through the gate. Gate opens, go through the gate. You used to be able to do it. Anyway, it's not the end of the world. By the time you get there, you're really already back. But I'd love to see it just able to do it. No, 100%.
It was working, but you're right, because they put in a lot of new code and all that. So that dog's crazy.
All right, here we are. We're done.
Destination. Wonderful drive.
All right, thanks everyone for watching.
2 hours.